We will talk about him as a lawyer and as a politician. It's an enviable profession. Sometimes people ask the question, but why politics? And it appears lawyers in Ghana love politics. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Mr. Lawyer Isaac Boamah. You have a third name? Yao. Okay, Boamah. Like many have been wondering. They ask questions like, well, lawyers, they seem to love politics. Why politics? You're a lawyer.
Thank you very much, and a very good afternoon to your cherished listeners. Also a good afternoon to listeners, particularly in Effia Constituency, where I'm contesting as the parliamentary candidate under the ticket of the New Patriotic Party, the NPP. Special greetings to the chiefs and people of Effia and all the community who have received me warmly since I got myself involved in the political exercise. Of course, we have considerable number of lawyers who are into politics, and if you check the numbers, there are more people who do politics than lawyers. The interesting thing is that a lot of people go into politics before they pursue a legal ambition, because they realize that law offers another opportunity for you to understand governance and how laws are set and how procurement and other issues of governance are protected. So it's a good way. I don't think necessarily you have to be a lawyer. My interest would be how well do we train our public servants, including politicians, on matters that border on law, and particularly in relation to the work that they do. So there should be some short programs in legal training or education for political and public office holders, so that they know consequences for their actions, and also take some of the decisions that, like normally, if you don't have any understanding at all, you may act in your best interest, but that wouldn't have been the position of the law. And so there should be a fine balance between those who want law as a profession, those who want law to complement their already existing professions, and those who need to be taught some aspects of law to facilitate and promote governance in this country.
If I don't intervene, the poor market woman at Effia will not be happy with me. So let me intervene and tell lawyer,
okay.
So
okay.
Were you born here in Takrady?
In your home, Takrady. Current baby a snit and buildings.
Okay.
Nature per quarters na would see snit than nature per home.
Not buildings no.
No, not snake building. No, one more waterlogged. Now, would you share? You know, I share.
Yeah,
sugar cane, exactly. It's not a one I share food. Now, your quarters. My mom happened to be working with Takrady Hospital. Then we called it European Hospital. It's now one of the quarters are nurses and other workers of Takrady Hospital. What the man wants. So that was where I was born in. I grew up for the early days in Takrady. And Sana, my papa, who happened to be a timber merchant, those days were from timber contractors.
Background in business.
My dad was a timber contractor, so he was able to put up a building in Tanukrum, which is in currently where we call Effia Constituency, part of Effia, Eastern Ukrum, around the Pentecost, Zungu, in the area. Until we moved into Tanukrum in the early part of 1988. Until I've been in Tanukrum, grown up from the early childhood days of about 8 to 9 years up to Enda Yekase.
Wow. When I look at, when I pay attention to now Papa and now Mamiana, it appears you had an easy growth, an easy childhood. How was childhood going up?
Initially, my papa professional forestry worker. He went to school at forestry school. Then no Sunyani or so. Inti no Ori na wadi to forestry commission, but he wasn't too interested in having a family one in Takrady, and he's sitting in Asinfusu. Inti na Oma or shifty based on experience in forestry. Now they enter into timber business. Into of course, at that time timber was a flourishing enterprise. Into na ejumani me misona obono modern war Takrady Hospital. Into beka de na Effia kakra. Into the very early parts of childhood between 79 and 83 na ekomba Ghana no be abeka de Ghana which but right after 84, 85 I can say that my parents had at least what it took to give us a very good standard of living.
Folks, we're talking to lawyer Isaac Boamah. You know, he happens to be the parliamentary, aspirant for the Effia Constituency, representative of flying on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. We're having a one-on-one, tete-a-tete with him. We are getting closer to him. Find out the personality behind the posters you see, so you know them as you gear towards election day. That's why we have him in the studio. There's a popular saying, travel and see. When I did checks on you, I've realized you've traveled. If not well traveled, at least you've traveled.
Me took one extensively. I believe that virtually apart from Australia, I've visited every continent of this world. Europe, America, Africa. You took one P. Most of them now are a Juma because I've been working in GRE for the past 22 years. Wow. Over time, Juma be built with capacity. As part of what job schedule a good number of them to it has been on personal level. With a busia epidemic na we to kwana echo so kokusuya bibi wo abrochi. It's as you are saying, travel and see what happens in other jurisdictions. Why one will be back then as a politicians pina kasaso wotukwan into urban then a man awkward abroaching into me and fa and by any money.
What if you imagine?
I believe that I've learned a lot of lessons from my exposure outside. And Zama Pia is influenced by some of the experiences I made in our Bruchi. For example, say Effia leadership in the Mepede Mediti Effia Winima is based on a lot of leadership and programs I was part of a selected team. Young leaders I was selected in London, leadership program under the Qatar program. Qatar organization or UK, Her Majesty Taxes, Revenue and Customs was sponsor. Up and coming leaders are what they will build on capacity in the world. I've been under that program with several leaders across the country of this world, around the countries of this world. In some of the people I'm in one eco program nibi where a Commissioner General eco Rwanda Commissioner General or a part of Obi Aminin eco program eco Sierra Leone, at some point the Vice President of Sierra Leone now Obi Aminin eco 1 or 2 programs that eco Kenya, some of the top leadership in Kenya where you can find this community almost Kwanema Uganda almost Kwanema a called Cape Verde and one away in one conferences international until you're able to learn from their experiences. Jamaica, I remember one of the programs I'm quite Dave. Yeah, I remember his name. Dave was coming from Jamaica. And he made me all before I made Shana between the Jamaica Nane athletics na Ebia Bob Marley ni reggae about Jamaica. But interestingly, he made me to appreciate a lot of economic transformation. Now I could do Jamaica, some of the ways are where sports want talent in the area of sports and in the area of music. And coming back into Effia, I'm bringing some of these experiences. How I'm to my fadona and wanna win ball, winning other sporting disciplines. Wanna win myself, wanna win my moto with Effia. Abakwani be fadwa yebe expose one on certain leverage.
We will get there. We will talk about these aspirations, these visions. We will get there. And I appreciate the fact that what's the matete say a man for bisa say politicians pina no motu kwanya baba dena niyomoku hu oho entisa wa. What do they do that we don't do? What don't we do right? What do we do that set us apart from them with regards to development,
discipline and making sure the emra ejuma enti na honum no onye obi na obeka che ode because in the emra ni ejuma anya obetwa aso and why inculcate them discipline so that microphone what I show no amount no when it's him there's bibi na omani shusho no said there or said in them discipline to do it. And for example, if road traffic offenses are in him there say on said it to make about 50 miles or a particular road. Echo over 50 miles there are structures are all can meet the cameras of that will be your picture now. What they will be elaborate. Another there's a police who is not hiding, but baby obutum we read you from afar. The cars here will be way raw for quantity until say they watch you on. And when they arrest you, on your feel never be with them as Miss Another Benton and run washes out to home. Indeed, that the sports finer one more ticket to the corner kutia. Until the metro the man was send notice the bra court na koko yuano. And everything is tied towards an effect on your pocket. Say a sanction as a sanction or your punitive enough in conform for it will make sure that one sanctions or you're very strong. Now obey hate to pocket say like a taxi driver. Now say in the daily sales a baby 300 cedis. Now say a cost one traffic offense. Now obey you 200 cedis. There's no way a baby you man do scared that could tickets. Into a bay mindful. But or said that all all inclusive, all respecting.
Not selective.
It's not selective. But here they whom you know, what you been there, or through be a was John. Each another person will be into watching us here. So where is the love of the person to the state today?
Profound. This quite touching. Quite touching, But of course, we're talking to a lawyer who understands human rights. He understands humanity. But lawyer, can be said. Sometimes I wish we were on radio was TV. So you because I say Abruchino, there's a police somewhere reading the speed. He's not hiding. But police here in Ghana, the ambushers, they will not tell watch you. But that's only lighter. But honorable. Say sanity and not just say this popular notion say omo nyansa sene. Bruni nyasa emra. Exactly.
There's no way Bruni Benimiansa baby. We've had Kofi Annan head in United Nations as General Secretary. We've had Ibn Chambers head in African Union. And we have so many Africans who will lead a lot of institutions globally. And Barack Obama was a black from background from Kenya, the president of America. And in some breath improved from Ameme experience, many Abrofuku school Kakrayeko programs nade. So what share your level of intelligence? And one answer at times we need because we pay attention to study. There's a lot of book knowledge. But Ninginaye Abakwani Ebefada Yebema Emrano Waye Juma. We need to move beyond constructing the law, and now the emrano the overbook him. Now make sure the emrano empower institutions to get it done.
It sets a tone for us to talk about our president, who is a lawyer, but not on this platform, because it's supposed to be you and you. So we will fix it probably on the morning show. So you talk to Lucky. So probably we talk about the government today and all of the achievements and all of it. So we'll refix it on the morning show. But today let's keep it. Let's talk about you. Also, why you Juma GRA, right? For over 20 years.
That's correct.
For over 20 years. Wow. GRA, they have issues. What are some of the issues? I think some of them, revenue mobilization is a challenge, and all of the lot of leakages. And what's happening? What can we do?
Okay, internal Ghana Revenue Authority, as I said, 22 years from when I used to be with the VAT service. Those days there were VAT, there were IRS, and there were customs. Them 3 near Kabum Nobe Ghana Revenue Authority. Now, FBB fee as a country. Now, FBB drew a Bekade Yaquin in Impasse Tax Authority. For example, yen collection of revenue itself, a dollarize, and we used to be very, very low. But in that, when you dollarize even our collection with a significant, yen revenue collection, the issue has to do with whether will be a practice. One thing about taxation is there or a dynamic. It's one of the most easiest laws are OCSI tax laws, because a session brand in there or China will be find tax avoidance scheme. It's also there chichel for at the counter. And yen inability to respond to changing times quickly, or can we know my yen revenue general or kichi. And over the past few years, attempts have been made there. Anytime be with some loophole, either you come up with administrative guidelines and then immediately you effect an amendment in the law. Or no, to improve on revenue collection. The second bit, the expanding the tax base or the tax net. The company by force or to PAYE because you are in the formal sector. Now, what you need to and compared to Ubia Udigwa Ugo. Ebikura onye discussing sika enyana them nipa no kuntua papibia because yenya them culture and discipline there. Anything that I collect, there's a tax component that I have to be disciplined, or I need to be faithful to the state then betua. Into our tax base now very limited to very few people. Like the last check in one year effective tax were less than 1 million. Now you have a population of over 35 million. Working class is supposed to be about 8 million. Now say we're just about 1 million, 1.2 million people who are taking care of the entire 35 million. It is never possible. It is never sustainable. And these are the challenges that GRA confront using digitalization to make sure that Ibutumi expand, bring more people into the tax nets just to improve revenue mobilization.
I asked him that question because he has worked with the GRA for over 20 years and he's the best person to answer that question. And should that be one of the reasons underdeveloped? Because you say Krubiani the tour na chichre. Inti say the tour na chichre Krudia na ye intimidiji tour. Could that be the reason, or we just have people mismanaging our resources?
Into the first bit in it, we are unable to mobilize enough revenue for national development. Into Effia, every day in and out, the demand on the state, they unsolved one problem or the other. Effia concerns as a country, it far outweighs how much we are able to generate. Into the first conversation should be Abakwan yebe fada yebe maximize yen tax revenue. Into something we call tax revenue potential. Into Effia global another developed country now, one tax revenue potential is very limited because why exhaust one tax gaps in Ethiopia or a potential gap near 3%, potential gap near 5%. Into every year they are just adding a little to the tax base. But the tax gap is so huge. It is in excess of 20%. It's meaning there we can do far better and far more than that. Until we explore and make sure that them tax gap need to be revenue no money be enough. Then complementing the not enough is what you may call it, whether we are judiciously maximizing or utilizing our revenue or our money that comes into our hands. That is a big conversation. And to function any political party, whether from Kwame Nkrumah time, if the way I was so uses Kaudisi Akusumbu or the Yetemamutu way, and we are saying that it is good. You are benefiting. Now some people are using it to do NHIS, either free SHS. Posterity will judge us whether they were good decisions. But beyond it, people are in authority, ministries, departments, and agencies. They won't find yet a banejuma contractor here award. We award it genuinely, and we get value for money for our contract. Because abrofono one on the other would discuss. We discuss, but the system is so robust. The avenue leakages in the system no, or very tight into but the avenue may be overly lax and wide. It's more people are able to manipulate the system to make their own benefits. Obey here, the year discuss about increasing revenue no. Now whether we are properly utilizing the little that comes into our hands, and that is a conversation for another day.
Very well. We're talking to Lawyer Boamah. He happens to be the parliamentary candidate for the Effia Constituency on the ticket of the NPP. Yes, we are on track. We are tapping into his experience as a professional who has worked with the GRA for over 20 years. So we are still talking about him, and that's his experience. If you pick up the CV of everybody, you find work experience. So we are talking about his experiences as a person. Mr. Boamah, which schools did you attend?
In school, I say Wanav West. Baby, I live for just here across the street, never be.
Okay.
Yeah, no one into Nav West, 1984. Namako Nav West. I left Nav West in 1989. Because common entrance, and I made a call Tadisco. It's because Tadisco 1989 to 1990, Form 1 to Form 2. Na mi fita disco na moko Adisada College. Maybe Adisada Form 5. Na moko Triadwo Prempe College. Moko ya Mrs. Form Prempe College. Then I moved into university.
Wow. And Titadisco from Fanyamo, both of them.
Maybe a group for one from what the mark alumni. 1994 year group Tadisco.
Before you decided to join politics, what is the impact, the level of impact you've had on the community, the very people you want to serve?
Yeah, politics, we've been involved in politics right from day one. Everybody is involved in politics. Effia, I want to wear politics. I know a girlfriend wear politics because you need to take decisions.
Yeah.
Enyiska, epedu ukudi lunch. Enimska washokutukum ekita 500 and 300. Also the yenko restaurant yenkudi 300. 300 you the work 150 or 200. Is it enough for the next couple of days? And now they will be decide, okay, you Chinese, you could be 70 cities. Now you keep 400 for whatever we need to do. School, me one half West, we and session leaders. I was the yellow session leader. Yellow session. Even as young as
the badge be
exactly yellow. Into my yellow, I still have yellow. And he said, even yellow session leader, class 2, class 3, say BBC were classroom. Wabefro, I be so there. No, I said yellow phone work opera. Antina 7 o'clock. Wabe 1 preview. They will discipline you. And you needed to know how to respond to responsibility, and that was where I picked up certain responsibility. Right from there, medical university, Medi Tescon treasurer, university na me a hall treasurer, me movie be SRC president, me the graduate president. You know, all of that, you know, or prepare into this political discourse. Though at the time, na margining ni do that achibia mebabe jina dem pedemidi member of parliament. But based on the experiences man narrating, you know, and the impact me in these various areas me leader no. Wama me huna mutumu de se nyame adom na se musumutumi bedi eku enim te de Effia mutume de me experience na me yansa na kakra me wo me da aboa me akwini enim se pede leader. A leader is first a servant. Leader nye obi a wo to abamu na de edi nkofo na enim that you lord it over them. A leader is someone na osede eti wa manfo na ehu wa manfo ada oda wona akumaduma na wope nima na osede woye the madin na ekabuma then ahwe abakwan na ebefado ebeboa won na woni ni so ade hunu no wa bem enti no I have been a very good listener. If you want to be a good leader, you have to be a good listener. So they to me na epic thoughts around all quarters and then you provide for solutions. In answer na mebabe di MP no minim de adwumasem or a problem with Effia because echo around and mebu no the two enim. In tabakwa na mefadra mobwa ma adwumasem wa akone enim nkrofo tu wenye adwuma. Me tu ma aboa from the time I maybe a parliamentary candidate till now, my offer direct employment opportunities to about 100 people were Effia as a constituency. So many things, in terms of health. At a time now, Moframa will call health screening across about 6 areas so far. Register. You have one from where we knew on NHI so far in excess of 4,500 people. You provide educational support. And one hour science and maths kids. You that one. And from our work mock BC. You triama one. And 1 hour exams. So you one math set. The BRM being we are supporting people in terms of education. By health, I can say medical route. Yeah, boy. It's the means I may another I'm only giving a signal that is what leadership should be. Leadership onyeni ina ampuna ebifu kutukumba say ofiu kutukum na edre yimpa edechede the madrina oho wona na the mana ohia wono also edwin wo de ebutumetu wanamon. So I always want to take a move and then get people to come on board to assist, and that is the kind of leadership.
You're live on Melody 91.1, and this is the PM Jam. We are on the dashboard, and we're talking to Lawyer Boamah. He happens to be the parliamentary candidate for the Effia Constituency, or per se, or the Effia for Inim. But what's in Effia, there was say one around that area, until maybe some the level of development in Effia. I know certainly. There have been some development.
Of course. Yes. That's correct.
But I want to know the level as compared to growing up and now. What's the level of growth or development now? Are you satisfied? Are you happy?
That's a big one. Baby, and I feel, of course, till now we're doing the Yakuin pa. Titinona, you're not quaning yakura. Sissy, which will the Aquanin some Wakunin. Titi na ebeka de insusem pono ye because then no Ghana water were very effective and efficient. In a households so na ondoors
no pressure.
It's na ye ni bibia our friend the pipe rationing they were all clean water, treated water. It was cheaper to treat all those in su na yenkrofo hanum. It's the effort against years ebe mu de yakwe but yen to me yen kondru bibia inka osede yeko na yeko kudru. I think that is the conversation around the leadership yekudu yeka. We need to still get the needed leadership will be push. It's all about pushing, lobbying, and making sure that Nzama pia oho yenu yibenya the right linkages na yakope na yedaba. Inti yakwe ni mkakra yebeka de uye but Yendru Hokra. There's a lot more to do.
That brings me to my next question. Say, what would he do to get us a bit further? But before I do that, Omobora Studio, my uncle Pao, mini Papa, he used to be part of us, but with Jenny Jaya. I'm talking about Kweku Segu. Kweku asked me, say, Momo Road now, and what boy chisa, I road, and don't come once. And you remember the Effia Road, my cancer, even before MPP came to power. Na road no sada tinti de bia me kasa me na ya hu yisa even on social media yegusu kakra but oyesin first ni mum ni timi twa but like I was telling him intino me pesemi hu when you have the nod of the people of Effia, what would you do differently?
And let me talk about a little about, in fact, I'm still unimpressed. Though I'm in Amaya and Kakra or better than the previous. I'm unimpressed because Senka Mutumina Enka Yebe complete and total asphalt. But I don't have the power. I don't have the mandate. And in my own small way. Why more trouble now why better than them
before now.
And I'm doing a lot of the things like Eastern Ukrum says Pentecost Kwana other pipe a branch the Eroko new site right opposite the Pentecost church. There's this connecting road Usan down or enter all the length and breadth of Eastern Ukrum. What say? What I'm a contractor is not on site. In the Menokasi, machines would do ya almost about 30 trips in a yedi ejuma on that road. Say Menokasi by Inubi Equano Wadim. But Wadim then, Area in the Gudu, or Sede Yedin Sugudu, ye compacted, now at least one more trouble. Into being there, yes, Juma, but is that the end? That's only the beginning. And that is what my leadership is going to do. Make sure that there be a wrong guy, able to me fix. Even if you to me and fixing permanently, you're fixing temporarily. But my overall objective is that you be provide total, complete development for the people of Effia.
There's a common language among electorate voters, and they say election a bar MP traquine. After election, we need election, we are MPC on traquine. What is the strategy? Is it a strategy? Is it at then MP elections a bar now you MPs no more to traquine or more yaquine, but we knew we are. Then they want to refer to the fact that their work in Parliament is not to construct roads.
It is very unfortunate there. General, but I don't think only about scoring political points. I've been doing a great number of the things I'm doing now, but because I wasn't a political aspirant, another leader, another aim. I've been supporting people's education over the past 10 years. Many people over the past 10 years. But on yada ebwa eduku baby akubudu. Say the people know the EPD DNP. It's what the damage meeting what but to win him. Eya or sede eka. Nema nipping the deminary. Eba manka samifi. Meteor Eastern Ukruma. I done the route now. If you're not a road now or that branch to my house, not on yet. Manko assembly, Manko Pachod one because me don't want yet in the Anadochina. So I took it upon myself and constructed a road in front of my house way before I make a day with politics. Intino Nina ye Ijumeda Odama Komadu because it's the people you are serving.
But do you by any idea, I know this is not your, but do you by any idea know why the rules for no individuals and communities to construct the routes? They will tell you your money was somewhere and do you know why?
Law is the law.
Okay.
The law empowers government
to do that.
Okay. And the law is saying there's a individual and a company corporation. Don't saka road be said the express approval of the state. Into on makwanema onye easy and even Effia Emrani Shishima. The responsibility on you Edibeka de Chakwan say compared to BBR Oma Onye lucrative. That is part of the reforms and Yame Adum Nasemitume Parliament. I be engaged because I've been a lawyer to a company in Accra. Our company in or construct a road at Wager Mitumaka Elfa West Hill Small or Wager Honomana. The road that is behind the West Hill Small China Mall or Honum, there's a company that has built huge factories or Honum. Now the road is about 3.5 kilometers. Cars namkwanedo will load goods whatever. Ekwane what the kokacha bana abanse de onya obeye but uniska odbeye. The company wanted to do the road and they came to me. What was a abanse de wontumonye. I took it upon myself. I facilitated it as a lawyer. I spoke to the ministry and we found an alternative way around the same law, legal regime. So what we did is that, okay, government on award them road contracts, on farmer a company. Now company on pre-finance road construction. Then anytime government wants to pay the money, they can pay it to the company. And we did that, and that road is now a first-class road. It is serving a huge community estate. But it was privately constructed, and I facilitated.
I am glad to hear say when you are Parliament, you work on that legislation. You make sure you work on change for with regards to that legislation. But Kokuserigo is aware that I am one person who demands accountability a lot from leaders. Yes, on my program. And once it is said here, it will be reminded. If you get the nod, we will remind you of this particular, promise that you championed it. So, individuals, churches are complaining. He knows there's a popular church around that area, that road I'm talking about, PIWC. They do Sunday no who cars and they were worried about the road. They had wanted to do it, but Akonya, so at least yet me so I'm told if you go to Nigeria, they've allowed the rooms and people do it and even put their names on the street.
Exactly.
So I'm happy you will say it's part of your agenda. So with Parliament, you work on it. Do you think Ghanaians are happy with your government?
I have not conducted a survey to empirically say yes or no. But of course, I know the Effia various sectors of the economy are government in our toucher. The government has more pluses than
negatives,
minus. And at times the minuses so vivid as humans say nobody a whole, but a praka crow nana a prano or your casa send the greater part of your body that is so because on your there were light yet so you are not going to complain about doom so again because the light is on but a light in we do 6 months 1 year continuous and a air generator and a generator or bulk owner or you to and assume nazama that would have been a complaint. Now, yenya opportunity over 1.5 million children will move from junior high school to senior high school. Even in that, extra cost of running senior high school per child or cost about approximately 7,000. Those days, I'm from our secondary school. So, Uba 3,000, 2,000, 4,000, and some we two are complete a year. Currently, as we speak, parents won't share them amount of money. And who be free there? Oh, Uba could free SHS free. But the complaint about university never yet. That is how our governance has been. But I always say, let's take stock of where we are coming from and where we are. Of course, we'll be in the dollar cost, isn't it? It will be back that under one regime, it was 1.2 to 4 cedis. A work percentage, I was maybe at 360%. Obi so be fair our NPP ebia officers Ghana, since we do 14 or 15 or 16, internet work percentage is so much. I don't believe in comparing negative records. You compare positive records. Now you share as a country about in innovations, because if you have a government that takes an initiative there or build 111 hospitals, my brother, in 4 years. Now say out of 111, we to construct about 50 hospitals. About 65 are in various stages of completion.
So you don't believe in comparing levels of devastations? So these people devastated more than we devastated. You don't believe in
No. And let's challenge ourselves into positives. It is a new person, Reba. Abadina or say obe change your life better. But then we can always go back to the past. Can I trust you? Say ameme se de meba ebi ameboa na ya road improvement. My lobby na ya roads. My actually from Amansame humble background, omi fi my bida. My bi say America say mareboa may improve. My actually kwana wo fada wo work around even a project which is non-conventionally private generated, but here to me BB within the law mawaba. You can trust somebody who has done or taken steps and is telling you they able to me better. And, in terms of the NPP as a government, it's not perfect. Or any challenges. A lot of other promises NPP made, we may not have fulfilled it, but a way a Juma Yaye, Effia roads, His Excellency, them drip machine now check across the country. The number of non-mutrable routes, CC roads now American. It is machines, government drip machines, what I'm providing is the fuel, the feeding, and the gravels, and then the it is if it is costing me when I did the number 9 road, everything around the number 9 road, from the machines to Abuba to Ariana Bibi, I bought it myself. It was in excess of 100,000.
Which part of the number 9 road?
Number 9 road now, or the number 9 traffic lights.
Effia public way, school.
Oh,
you did it?
Yes. I fully financed that road myself. It cost me over 100,000 to put it in.
But I think I heard the NDC MP did. You did.
NDC MP. What's it that maybe or the grader or the Kofado half day. Or say Kwanika Kramayan, but that is fine. Or Fado, make a saying, or the grader Fado, or a bit better than all the time we saw it. What I told him was, my brother, say, I am ready there, Ebeya, in Kayeni, na, Ubi with at least I am Musa, Yebema, Honorable,
acquire mututra more ye, and a cry, there's a competition in doing them. Why is it that after elections we don't get
na me bahode for me as a person onye ada de bia meka de oye mepe na me ni je de me se de mutual akwa, because oye mejuma de mutual akwa. It's not my job as an incoming member of parliament to do that, but it has been necessitated because now I want to be a member of parliament. I'm engaging everybody within my community. The community is telling you some of their dire problems, which include some of these things we are talking about. Elko Lagos Town, Banchase, Honum Kwana. What's ya? Now it's time for accountability, as you said. Onyamin Otomodaba over the past 8 years. My government is in power, but I'm not a government appointee. Government doesn't give me a dime in the things that I do. But work has some natural. Really a problem. There are more problems that comes to my table. I can't solve all the problems in a day. But about intervention, I made dream they say Mutuma Medabwa. And that's what I'm saying there. The things I do, I don't do them for political expedience. It is that's what to Obama. Nase Mebabedi MPV. Nase Meko Apro. Nase continuously there are problems. Now, because I am in a position to go to government and fight and lobby and then talk and then make sure that those things come in, and that's the job of the member of parliament. Say make sure there's a problem no on but the biggest, and I told people today, I met hairdressers and beauticians in Effia Kuma. When you hair dryers, when you day, me say it is not me to say the member with 50 hair dryers because I don't manufacture hair dryers. But or your responsibility they say abandon hair dryers ba that's all richer or say then me make sure them I prepare my jam and Effia. You know, every leadership and their style. I have been in leadership position where I know how to fight and get things done for a people. And then I've also lived over years and created a lot of network and net worth such that me here so there and crofo beba no aba beboa na ya motumi nya dem crofo no ai den waba no abeboa maye. That is the kind of work.
I love the fact that he restricts the conversation to himself as a person. Of course, it's a personality interview, so he restricts it to himself as or no. So I love the fact that he does that. But honorable say who can hairdressers want them? What is it about you and market women? Plan B or Plan B market women? When market women,
the more I make at the massive, not the more the miss a far away fee in our washing. It's a bobocho. My market women, I can't want to wait under one I mean chassis.
Okay.
I don't want to talk more.
Okay.
Let the work speak.
Okay.
You know, it's an initiative to try and support your name before I would go. Now you make sure that ordinarily say opportunity be able to facilitate a loan scheme. Won't try in Sihua or overburdened so they don't get value for the trading that they do. And that is the arrangement I made such that say you two me facility be the mahona interest now will be true and you do something about it and then they can pay the principal over a period of time. And I think that will go a long way of empowering them so that the interest partner could be true or be a part of their working capital. And then they can grow their business. And community designer na emrenuso Trinity into very all too soon. And he's a busy person. We appreciate your time. Say what make it time abaha. We appreciate that. We would have to let him go to attend to other business as well. But before I let him go, before I let you go, folks, remember I'm talking to the parliamentary aspirant for the Effia Constituency. He's aspiring for the Effia seat. It's a very popular seat, and it's a seat I'm told. It's for traditionally it's for the NPP. Does that give you a certain level of comfort, or your opponent scares you a bit? I say, Debi America do in Nipani Jumana area. Over the past 3 times, Effia Watuaba, the party has won, and the people of Effia has stood behind the NPP, but. That for me is not enough or comforting. I believe that if a people really believe in you or appreciate you for what you represent, or say that what to abana, what to know in mass, now what they want mandate, what they tell which they do na ye jidi down able to my jumano. So I am looking forward to an election where overwhelmingly not less than 80% of the people of Effia will give me their mandate to represent them. Not because I'm NPP, because yesterday Jumana me no NPP Juma, no NDC Juma. All the assistance that I've given to the people of Effia, me him. In fact, some of the beneficiaries, a lot of the beneficiaries, one the cheap over catch them there. I mean, me and this in a minya they made me into more trauma. They say, wow, but I never see it, and I don't even know them. When you come to me, or I'm offering a support mechanism through ABR, some interventions, I open it to the people, and anybody who qualifies to benefit, because in Sutra, Otoguye in Ena ejuma na mbwane so no ye kwama ye nyina efia na ye pani ye na ne kanko nti no my representation right from there I'm from the primaries till now and beyond, and I can assure the people of Effia, everybody, no matter your political persuasion, that ejuma me ba be no yeah for every, you can be the chairman of NDC in Effia. If you need my assistance and direction, call me, come to the house. I'll give it to you, and it will never be a political conversation.
All right. Thank you very much, Lawyer Isaac Boamah, for coming into our studio. I was saying, you know, before I let you go, so by addressing your people, if you have some words for them.
Medasipi, for giving me the opportunity on this wonderful Melody studio. As I said, it's a very beautiful studio.
Yes.
And I really have enjoyed the moment with you. And to the people of Effia, I want to assure them that Nyame and Aduma, Anamona Mutuno, Onye, Anamona, Oye for personal aggrandizement or benefit. Or Yanamona Mutu, because me dream there, na me who so there, a Juma or na the major ye can differ Obutu we see if you are my in the needed direction and leadership here to me draw. I offer to the people of Effia an advocate. Ubia Ubutu Wakan Krofo Asemama one. I offer to the people of Effia a lobbyist. Ubia Ubutu Wako baby Wako pre baby na Odaba. I offer to the people of Effia selflessness. Ubia ordinary si honum there Obebo modern na Bibia Obe County the people first than himself. And I offer to the people of Effia the service of servanthood, that I'm ready not to lord over them, but to hear them, listen to them, and give them the best of leadership that they deserve. Nyankopon
Amen. And Honorable, let me remind Honorable Kweku knows that accountability they method demand the pan, and I'm very sure since Komaya Boy, some years to come when we raise them to want to pursue and review them, Honorable will be okay and will be available, so we will pin them and talk about it.
I'm a 4-year review. Half review. Okay. Able to my friend quarterly for a review. Call me on a half yearly. Oh, Mupocho, yen so for French.
Okay.
It's BB Amaka, tabulate it and then share it with me. I also keep records of everything.
Yes, a recorded interview. So
exactly. Now, men train 6 months in po. Say Yame Adum, I see Ebeko Parliament. Yame Adum, if you have for Shemin Moyama, Yebeko January. In Zama Yabu Bodono by Sama Meba Studio Buma, Yebebu Nua Kuntansan Yatua.
Very well.
Beyond it, quarterly, half yearly, just let me know and then I'll come back and speak to all the issues I've raised.
All right. Thank you very much, Lawyer Isaac Boamah. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. This was the dashboard, and it's some 14 minutes after 2, and we're live on Melody FM. This is the PM Jam.